Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nashville Super Speedway for the running of the TJ Maxx 400, race 5 of 35 for the XLNG Cup Series season. Take a look at your starting lineup. On pole, the first ever XLNG Cup Series winner, Universal 500 winner Austin Terrio, who is outside Zachary Bilson, Dane Cruz, and Patrick Smith. Jake Jefferson and TJ Hanley, Brady Berghardt and Nick Bergwald, Logan Cloud, and your defending race winner, one at Homestead, Antoine Smith. That is your top 10. Going farther back is Zachary Fitzwater and Hector Carneris, Eric Darnell, Cody Savage, Ryan Priest, Dominic Carlone, Danica Matthew, Skylar Dixon, Logan Bradley, Trey Fisher, Bragus King, Matthew Town, Julio Caesar, Preston Emmons, Tib Foster, who he finished second. Instead, have Shearer, who had one of the stronger cars at Homestead, but ended up falling off toward the end. Noah Robb and Gabriel Durand, Austin Delgado and Taylor Fry, Breeze and Robbie Webb, Jacob Rose and Matthew Eves, who projected to be fully healed up Minnesota, which is the next race. So next week his hand will be all better. He'll be back up to full driving potential. Then Nick Perez, points leaders in the back. Another car high up in the points is James Busher. He's having to have another poor qualifying run, so it's going to be a long night for him. Final four on the grid: Yari Matti Happalainen, Teddy Kari, Brandon Morris, and Dylan Jacobs. So anyways, 75 laps of action tonight. Get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
So we have 75 laps of racing tonight on the banked 1 1/3 mile oval. The unique concrete surface is going to provide a little challenge for some of these drivers and see how they'll be able to do on this surface. Going around is Austin Terrio. Get the green flag in the TJ Maxx 400 here in Nashville. Track is located outside of Nashville in the suburb of Lebanon, Tennessee. But anyways, got a packed house and we are going green. As they go 3 wide toward the back, Austin Terrio still leads over Dane Cruz. Zachary Bilson, however, trying to get up in the battle for the race lead. Be interesting to see who will be able to get the jump early on this field. As a little bit farther back, you see they're still two abreast, but to get back, there's Trey Fisher all the way on the outside, but looks like that's not the line that you want to be, and he's starting to fall back through this field. Anyways, looks like we have a pass up at the front. We do. Dane Cruz trying to dive underneath the 41 of Terrio, but now he's going to have to manage with Bilson to his outside, as we'll get the ticker up around lap number 3. So Cruz and Bilson now side by side. It'll be interesting to see if the outside or the inside groove will be the one that you want to be in through the corners, as going 3 wide a little bit farther back still. Looks like might be Robbie Webb. I'm not 100% sure, but Cruz drops back in a solid third. Hanley and Smith, two Mazdas, are battling. Smith might even be looking to pass Cruz for third, but no, he's on the outside, and Hanley's going to battle underneath him. Already out at front is Austin Terrios now. Hanley is being pressured now by Jay Jefferson, the driver-owner. Jefferson had nothing for him that time. It'll be interesting to see if he'll have anything for him in the closing laps as Smith close on the back bumper of Dane Cruz. This could be considered a near home race for Cruz as he is from Ohio, and obviously Ohio was just north of Tennessee. As we have a move for the lead now, Zachary Bilson diving it underneath the 41 of Terrio, so the driver who flipped at Orlando trying to pass the Orlando winner. And also up in the mix is the 46, sent the 28 flipping, and the 01 who was on pole at Orlando. So plenty of factors here tonight. Familiar faces up front. Like they're starting to get a little bit more single file. Hanley was going to make a move on Smith, but Smith looked like he was trying to pass Bilson, but couldn't do anything for him. As the field begins to settle in here. TJ Maxx 400. Let's get a little bit of onboard action. Our visor cam driver for tonight, Zachary Bilson. So Bilson did try to get around Cruz there, but couldn't make anything of it, and now that's allowed the door open for Patrick Smith. Will Smith be able to pass a 28, or will it be the same thing last time by? Looks like Smith has not quite cleared Bilson, so they're still side by side for third. And looks like Hanley had a bad run at corner exit, and Jefferson now is going to get underneath of the 08. As, ooh, man, from heavy throttle management, Hanley was just, that car was absolutely snaking around. They now come down the back stretch. 4-car group on the inside, all pretty much bumper to bumper. Oh, Smith checked up as Hanley got sent up high. We're going to fly by the field. As we continue to watch this battle for fourth now, as Smith looks like to have Hanley cleared, and TJ drops back now alongside with Jay Jefferson. Jefferson, the Texan driver, he's got his teammate right there behind him, supporting him, the 201 winner at Orlando, Brady Burkhart. Burkhart obviously in that Mountain Dew Pitch Black 0. That was one of the fan favorite schemes this year, I'd have to say. It's kind of one of the most creative schemes I've done, but if we want to look at one of the most detailed schemes in the series, look no further than Nick Bergwald. He put a lot of work into his scheme, and I can't give him enough credit to make one of the sharpest looking cars out there in this set. Speaking of car set, it's going to be released after Minnesota for all of you to mess around with. This and the Qualcomm series, as at the front, Dane Cruz is looking a little racy. He's blocking Zachary Bilson, making a pass on him into 3, and it's worked. Bilson couldn't get underneath the 46 that time by. As now Brady makes a dive underneath the 8 to come through the tri-oval. Look at that battle up. Brady got on the yellow line and had to check up, so this might be Nick's position. And looks like, look a little bit further up front. Dane Cruz is there, right on the back bumper of Terrio. Will he make a dive for the lead? No. Not that time by. Getting shades of Las Vegas here, but they're kind of all in a group and no one's stepping out just yet. They want to time their move right. Just when's the right time? Will you have the speed to pull away? And as you see how much speed's affected by running side by side, Berghardt and Bergwald, a bit of a tongue twister there, but they're already about almost half a second off as there's the move for the lead. Cruz underneath Terrio. Does he have anything? Smith now underneath Bilson, trying to make something happen. This is going to allow the 8 and the 0 to catch back up to the leaders. These guys are running a bit slower. Ooh, Terrio couldn't block the 46. They're still side by side to the lead in the corner. Interesting to see as they come off down the front straightaway. High speeds here, approaching 180, hitting 180, 184 into the corner. And it's not gonna stick. Terrio gets the drive in on that higher line, and looks like Austin will take the lead back. His Toyota. Wilson looks like he's maintaining third, and Hanley now might pass Smith here on the outside. Bergwald was able to fend off Brady Burkhart for 7th. Looks like we got a newer face trying to break into the top 10. Not new to the top 10, but new to this race. It's Zachary Fitzwater. Here in his 59, 300, and our 2003 victories. Still searching for 301, as I know of currently. Will we get it tonight? We'll see. Gonna peek back up the order. Bilson now gonna try his hand on getting by Terrio, as Cruz tried to make a move on Hanley, but Hanley slammed the door on him in 1 and 2, and Bilson can't keep the car planted. Position still goes to Austin Terrio. Watch this battle for lead. Let's get a little visor cam action. A little spectator camera shot here from the long, tall grandstand here at Nashville. Bilson is there. He's trying to get the draft from Hanley just to give him just a little bit of enough shot. Push him by that 41, but he just doesn't have it yet. And side by side there are Smith and Cruz, and those two can't seem to sort it out. They finally do, and they'll be able to catch back up to the leaders now as Logan Cloud trying to advance his position on Brady Burkhart. But as is, we're going to take a quick commercial break from the TJ Maxx 400. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the TJ Maxx 400 from Nashville Super Speedway, round number 5, the Excel Energy Cup Series season. Bilson tried to make another look on the 41 of Terrio for the race lead, but Austin Terrio in his Chang Racing Toyota Camry still has it. Smith and Hanley battling for third. Hanley's going to drop out of it currently, and that position over to Smith. Not quite. They can't clear each other, and they're still sorting it out. Cruz and Jefferson might be having a battle, but coming up through the field, he passed Brady Burkhart. Now he's going to try and pass Nick Bergwald. The 94 of Logan Cloud. He had a good car at Charlotte. He had a good car at Vegas. He had horrible luck at Homestead, and now another speedway. These might be the tracks that suit him the best. Made his way up into the top 10. Bilson couldn't get underneath Terrio that time. He's gonna hold it down there, but no, the 41 powers by. Would also like to mention that Julio Caesar has dropped out of the race with a piston issue, meaning the 40 car will finish last. 40, excuse me, the 4. Mario puts a bit of a gap on Bilson as continuing side by side now are the 0-1 and the 0-8, thus holding up the 38 and the 46. Stanley clear, he just can't quite get him as Bergwald has already gotten by the 94. Like Brady now mixing it up with Homestead winner Antoine Smith, another Homestead contender. Fitzwater, as we mentioned, is right there. A quick look down the field, see where favorite driver or yourself might be running. Tyler Dixon, that's someone we haven't talked about a lot this season. He's having a good run. He's up in the top 20. So is Matthew Town. Tib Foster finished second. He's fallen off a bit. He's down into 22nd. Dan Cruz seems to be the Loaf Racing car carrying that team today. But farther back, Matthew Eves is having a good race, even with his injury still could be nagging him. He's all the way up at 27. A little bit farther back is Kev Shearer, Las Vegas winner Homestead contender. He's made his way up in the points, but now looks like he's in contention for falling off a bit. Charlotte winner James Buescher also having not the day he wants. And points leader Nick Perez all the way back in 36th. Brandon Morris is already having another outstanding 39th place run. Back at the front, we've seen a little bit of position changes as we went away. Jake Jefferson and Nick Bergwalder into the top 5. Smith and Cruz are out. Brady Burkhart now the last car in the top 10. Look out the front bumper, Patrick Smith. Now, Patrick Smith, he is from Ontario, Canada, and I did ask him before the race, you know, what's your favorite part about racing in the States? Obviously, you're a Canadian-born driver, but he says there's a lot more diverse tracks out here, especially Nashville. It's fairly unique, especially because it's a long concrete mile and a third oval. You don't see too many tracks that are long and concrete, but also this size. Also, he says he just can't wait until they come back and run to Toronto in the middle of the season. But we've got some 3-wide action not too far back between Ryan Preece, Eric Darnell, and Hector Carneros, but they calm it down before the corner. Preece obviously has had some good runs this season. The top 5 at Orlando. I believe he had another strong run somewhere else. Can't remember what race it was off the top of my head. Carneros was one of the many that Danica Matthew crashed out, or was at least involved with at Las Vegas. But speaking of Matthew, kind of having a little redemption race here. He's trying to get in the top 15. He's just outside in 16th, but having a fairly good day for himself, trying to make some friends back in the garage. Matthew Eves up to 25th, so if we want to talk about a redemption drive, another one to say the least, I'd go to him as the Mississippian driver. This could be a home race for him, but I do believe Memphis might be closer. I'm not 100% sure. But he's got some family here, friends as well. Definitely cheering him on in a local race. look back up the order as we approach the halfway mark. DJ Hanley has gotten by the 28 of Zachary Bilson, and now Hanley up in the second. Bilson back third and Bergwald fourth. We're starting to see some of the front runners this season emerge, such as, I'd have to say, the top five, as well as Logan Cloud, Antoine Smith, Brady Berghart's not that much, but if we look down a little bit farther, Eric Darnell, Ryan Preece, but our other front runners that we've seen, like Jari-Matti Hepalainen, Nick Perez, and can't forget about Kev Shear either. Those guys are all having 4 nights tonight. So they're on the ticker press, and Emmons is also out of the race with a piston error, so it looks like liability's biting the Chevy Camaros tonight. Hanley now underneath the 41 for the lead. Will we finally see a lead change in this race? It's going to be tough. They just can't hold it on the bottom in 1 and 2. Not the place to make your move, and it's going to cost Hanley as he falls back now, possibly into the clutches of Bilson. It seems like how these drivers are running. 1 and 2, you want to be in that middle groove, but 3 and 4, the bottom is where it's at. Bilson now underneath Hanley. We'll see if he can hold it on the outside. Ooh, Nick Bergwald dove it in a little deep, nearly got into the back of the 28. That was a little close. But Bergwald holds it, and he could fall out of the top 5 here if Jay Jefferson and Patrick Smith pass him. But no, the battle for third rages on. Let's crank it up. And up at the front, Nick Bergwald continues to be in third in front of Zachary Bilson. Patrick Smith has gotten by Jay Jefferson. Ways the battle is on for 9th. Or excuse me, 8th. They're 0 on the 65. Catch the 94 of Logan Cloud, but new driver up to 11th. That's Dominic Carlone in that number 2. Scuderia Guidici owns the 226 and I believe the 60 as well. So they're having an alright night, especially with 11th, 18th, and not that alright for Durant. She's back in 27th. Take a look at some of our fastest laps tonight. Looks like our front runners are the ones that are trolling them. Patrick Smith, Zachary Fitzwater, Eric Darnell, Brady Burkhart, Logan Cloud, Dane Cruz, Dominic Carlone, TJ Hanley, Jay Jefferson, and Zachary Bilson. So all those guys are in the top 15. I honestly I want to say most of the top 15 has the top 15 times, as your leader Terrio is in 14th as Hanley tries to make a dive, but unsuccessful yet again. Slowest lap goes to Julio Caesar, but then again he wasn't in that much this race. Work lap 47. We're gonna take another commercial break. Won't miss any of the action after we come back. And welcome back to the TJ Maxx 400 here at Nashville Super Speedway as leader Austin Terrio crosses the line. 2/3 of the race is complete. 25 laps to go. Pit wears on 1 times. I don't know if they're going to pit or not. I haven't tested a full race at this track. But anyways, Terrio still leads. Hanley, Bergwald, Smith, Bilson your top 5 as under break. Dominic Carlone has cracked the top 10, getting by the 0 of Brady Burkhardt. Battle for second. Nick Bergwald diving it under the 0-8. So the 8 and the 0-8 battling each other here. Good on the back straightaway in Tennessee. Hanley tried to throw the block, but he thought better of it, and Bergwald still holds it on the inside, and Hanley clears anyways. Smith might try to clear the 8. Around the outside, he might be able to. No, Bilson changes lanes to push the 0-1 all the way in front of the 8. Now tries to get by Chevrolet Camaro of Nick Bergwald. Urban Stewart Motorsports car. They're not having the best of nights as there are other drivers, and now we have pit stops. Terrio, Hanley, Cruz, Carneris, the only front runners that come in. Yes, Bergwald. And if we look farther back, Delgado 27th, and then down in 37th is the 6 of Dylan Jacobs. So Bergwald seemed to be the top driver on Urban Stewart Motorsports so far this season. Will Smith and Bilson come in? Yes. Does anyone stay out? Looks like nope. Carlone and Smith come down as well. Wortley and Savage and Priest side by side across the line. Cody Savage leads a lap. Matthew Eves as well stays out, trying to play a bold strategy here. Get some front running time, see if the overcut will benefit him anything at all. Usually it doesn't, but you never know. Staying out Noah Breeze and Brandon Morris. Terrio leads Hanley. At least that group looks like Logan Bradley. Logan Bradley may have came down a lap earlier than everybody else. And if that's the case, because if Bradley's on the lead lap when everybody cycles out, that could be huge, because currently, depending on where everybody else jumps out, he could be running third, as that's Bergwald's only there, and Smith's only there. Where's Bilson? Zachary Bilson at a terrible stop. Bilson's gonna drop far out the order. So Zachary Bilson and Jay Jefferson look to be the big losers on that round of stops, as looks like our big winners have to go to Logan Bradley, Tib Foster, and Kev Shear. Shear was in the back, but now he's made his way up, and he's battling with Nick Bergwald. The undercut paid off for Cody Savage. He's up in the top 10, looks like, as got a whole bunch of new faces. Fisher, Kari, Rose. So a lot of split strategy here, is hopefully the ticker's gonna fix itself soon, but like a lot of interesting strategy going on here. Wait. is the ticker not fixed? Is Ryan Preece actually leading this race? Ryan Preece actually... I think Ryan Preece... No, because surely these guys pit. I don't know what strategy these guys have pulled here, but Ryan Preece is being shown consistently as the leader. He's put Terrio and everyone else behind him a lap down. This is absolutely wild pitch strategy. These guys must not have taken tires. But the weird thing is that they all stayed out at the same time, so I don't know if this is like an NR bug or just amazing strategy, but Ryan Preece is definitely leading. What a story this is going to be by Matthew Eves. Injured, he has a chance at winning this because he could still catch Preece. And Noah Breeze in his lesser funded ride up toward the front, and Brandon Morris as well, who's just had an awful season so far. These two are going to have turnaround races, but then a lap down is Terrio. I mean, either way, Logan Bradley, Hector Carneras, Tim Foster have Sheer not quite, but a lot of those guys played the pitch strategy right. They're going to have good runs. Still going to cost a guy like Dane Cruz, because he's all the way back in 15th now. Nick Perez, hey, he started pretty much in 35th. He's up to 20th. Zachary Bilson, Jay Jefferson, the big losers. Antoine Smith dropped about like 15 spots as well. Get a quick look at the rest of your order. Oh man, Brady Burkhart and Logan Cloud, they must have had issues on their stop, because Cloud went from being in the top 10 all the way down to 37th. Ugh. Heartbreak for the 94. Anyways, these guys are trying to unlap themselves. They're going like they're trying to go 3 wide behind Morris and Breeze, who are battling for 3rd, as this is the race for 5th between Terry and all these guys, so it's an odd gaggle of cars, but we'll watch it, as this is where the action seems to be. Terry up on the way outside, I don't think. However, he does have the car. He just sails it around that 18. Terrio had the winning car today, but just couldn't do anything with it. Now Hanley to try and get by, but it's going to hold all these guys up. Really reduce the battle for 5th from what it could have been. Carneras now powers around on the outside. Morris just absolutely blocking the 81 and 0-1. He doesn't get out of the way soon. This might be a penalty, as Noah Breeze is sensible enough to leave a hole open for the 18, but yeah, Morris is just casually blocking these guys. I don't know. I don't think Brandon knows that these guys aren't on the same lap as him. Brandon thinking these guys are on the lead lap, but thankfully he got the radio message and he's moved over for these guys, but basically going to kill the race for 3rd, as Noah Breeze might have it. And looks like Matthew Eves is trying to benefit from Preece having to let all these cars by. Will Eves catch him, as it's now 9 laps to go here in the TJ Maxx 400? Absolutely wild race. As yes, Terrio and Hanley have officially unlapped themselves. I have no clue what happened on pit road to get these guys so far out, and wouldn't that be why they never pit? Try to stay out, and Fitzwater's crashed. Fitzwater and Smith have crashed. Is that a caution? It's a caution. Oh, this is gonna screw everything up. We're gonna have a late race restart. Zachary Fitzwater and Antoine Smith wreck as the lead 4 try to come down. I don't know where everybody's gonna cycle out, but I think we're in order for a replay here, as this race has gotten 10 times more crazier. So we're gonna slow it down here. I believe Brandon Morris was the issue. Yes, he's on the brakes, so he's trying to get down the track to get on pit road. All these guys are checking up around him as the 55 turns it down. And then Durand has nowhere to go, punts the 65, sends him sideways, and clips the 59, slams him into the wall. The two dodges go up and wreck. I believe those two are teammates, actually. 65 may be on Fitzwater Australia Racing. Ooh, some near misses here as Zachary slid down the track, especially the 12 and the 15. They were lucky enough not to hit the 59 sliding down, but that one replay is all we need, and let's try and figure out who's going to be leading what after all this. Welcome back to the TJ Maxx 400 at Nashville Super Speedway. Ryan Preece and Matthew Eves are your race leaders as they cross the line on pit road as they race back to the line after Zachary Fitzwater's untimely wreck. And these two were in the back of the field all day, and now they're in contention for the win. But can they hold off the dominant cars of Los Ontario, TJ Hanley, Patrick Smith's a little bit farther back. But anyways, pace car will peel off. 5-lap shootout for the win, as Dragos King for some reason is a lap down. He said he was having a little bit of radio issues during the caution, so he came down pit road and fixed it, even though it shouldn't really matter. This race is pretty much over. 5-lap shootout in the TJ Maxx 400. Who is going to win it? Carneros with an early move underneath Breeze. That is for 5th place. Will Noah Breeze, the underdog car in this field, end up staying in the top 10? As Eves still fighting his nagging hand injury after his flip at Las Vegas. It's showing. He's dropping back on the outside. Terrio dives underneath him and now chases down Ryan Preece. Will Preece have the time to hold off the 41 as Carneros uses the slower car of Eves to his advantage and holds up TJ Hanley. Carneros in the 3rd. Can he get revenge for his poor run at Las Vegas when he crashed out there? Terrio now under Preece for the race lead, and this could be for the race win. Austin Terrio easily underneath the slower 66 of Ryan Preece. Terrio has the dominant car tonight, and he's going to take the lead. Only 2 laps to go here in Nashville. That was a terrible call. Anyways, back in focus. Does Carneros have the car to pass the 41? Will Logan Bradley get by Patrick Smith? We'll see. How far does Preece fall back? Coming off turn number 4. It's going to be the final lap. Presented by Bush's Baked Beans here in the TJ Maxx 400. Terrio leads. Smith now underneath the fellow Mazda of Hanley. Final time through turns 1 and 2. Carneros putting the pressure on Terrio. Will he make the mistakes, or will he have the flawless race that he's driven so far? Into 3. Look at this. Carneros is not going to make the move. I'm surprised he didn't go for it. But coming off of turn number 4, Austin Terrio is going to get his 2nd win of the season. The first ever repeat winner in Excel Energy Cup Series competition. He wins the TJ Maxx 400 as Hanley was unable to steal 2nd away from Carneros there at the end. What a wild ending to that race. It was a little confusing, but the caution came out at the right time. Otherwise, Ryan Preece would not have gotten a top 10. Noah Breeze just misses the top 15 as Brandon Morris still falls down to 22nd. Bad luck for him, but Injured Matthew Eves 14th. Let's just take a look at the results screen now. As Austin Terrio wins, Carneris, Hanley, Smith, Bradley, Bergball, Carlone, Savage, Kari, and Priest are top 10. Rest of your order on the screen. We'll move it down in a second or two. But definitely a fairly confusing finish to that race. Look at your lower end of the results. Logan Cloud 35th. Ugh. Heartbreak for him. Oh man, this race ran long. Anyways, we're gonna cut it here to get you the points. And here are your point standings after race number 5 at Nashville. Austin Terrio has it. The first to break the 1,000 point barrier. Nick Perez falls to second. Patrick Smith in third. Ryan Priest fourth. And Antoine Smith down to fifth. Big gainers. Hector Carneris up 15. Up 8 is TJ Hanley. Big losers, James Busher down 9. Couple drivers are down 7. Anyways, thank you for watching. It was a wild final portion of that race, but appreciate you sticking through. Next up, we have a doubleheader weekend at Minnesota, the Ice Bowl weekend. One of the second crown jewel. See you then.